Heidi, I really need to talk to you. It's actually rather important. So you better reply straight after you get this message from me. I just asked Harrison what's going on with you. You know, because I'm nosy. Is it true that you're now living at home? Since when was there any need for you to move back into your parents' house? I thought independent women were supposed to live by themselves. Okay, Brooke, I get what you're saying. You don't need to make such snide comments towards me. What's up? I know we only met face-to-face the other day, so I guess we're still trying to figure each other out. Just please continue to look after Harrison and support him. Oh, please, Heidi, there's no need to digress right now. I know that you're trying to avoid having this conversation with me. Look, don't you think you're a little old to be moving back into your parents' house? You're in your 40s. Can't you live on your own? I'm shocked that someone would do this to themselves. Okay, yes, it's true that I now live at my parents' house, but what's the problem with that? A lot of people still live with their parents until they can afford to get a house. You do know that every family has different circumstances, including ours, okay? Look, I'm taking care of my mother right now. What is it that you wanted to ask, Brooke? Is there a point to this conversation that you want to have? What? You're actually taking care of your mother? But isn't she a ball of energy normally? I thought that she was healthy and, well... Did you forget about all of this when we met face-to-face the other day? My mother's in a wheelchair, Brooke. She can't move sometimes without help. There are times when nursing care is necessary, and my father isn't the type to help with anything like this. He's... useless. It's like he almost doesn't care about Mom. Well, my father-in-law works a lot, so of course he can't help your mother out. That just can't be helped. I mean, at least he's providing financial support. Huh? What on earth are you talking about? What job are you referring to exactly, Brooke? Since when are you taking sides in this? Well, he's probably going to work since you're unemployed, aren't you, Heidi? A woman in her 40s that's unemployed and lives with her parents? You know that's not great, right? You probably exploited your own parents. I wouldn't be surprised if you did that. Excuse me? I get that it's not a great situation to be in, but I'm not exploiting my own parents. What the heck, Brooke? I'm just trying to help them. If you're so worried about me doing something, there's really no need to worry or think anything bad about the situation. We all get along pretty well as a family, although my father does make me feel a little bit anxious at times, but he's been like that forever. Okay, well, I better tell you what's going on. Have you heard that we're all going to be living together under the same roof? Whoa, back up a little bit there, Brooke. What's that supposed to mean? What do you mean by living together? Are you moving in here? Once me and Harrison get married to each other, we're all going to live together in your parents' house. We need to live somewhere, you know. I really thought that someday that house would be mine, and then you suddenly show up and start living there out of the blue. I don't get why you're there, because it's just ruining all of my future plans with Harrison. I haven't heard a word of you both living together here. I had absolutely no idea that you were planning that. Harrison hasn't talked to me or our mother. Since when was it okay for you both to make these sorts of decisions without telling anyone or even asking for my parents' permission? I don't know what you're talking about, Heidi. I mentioned it to your father, and it sounds like he's okay with it. Wait, what? You talked to my father about this? What about my mother? How come she doesn't know? What's going on here? Of course I talked to your father. I needed to tell somebody, and I was definitely not going to approach your mother first about it. That house belongs to my father-in-law, okay? I think we all know that much. If my father-in-law says it's okay, then it's okay, all right? That's why I'm only telling you now about our decisions, since we've only talked to your dad. We've already decided to move in together starting next month. Wait, you're moving in next month? But next month starts next week. That's so soon. Even though you've suddenly decided to do this, my father hasn't talked to us about it. You do know that there won't be enough room for everyone, right? It's going to be a tight squeeze. Well, the whole reason why I'm messaging you now is so that I can tell you to move out, okay? The easiest thing to do is for you to leave, all right? Brooke, maybe you should actually keep your mouth shut, because you can't just tell me to leave my parents' house, okay? If you intend on being rude to me, you'll regret what you said later on. You won't be able to take back what you just told me to do. Oh, I don't really care about what I say to you, Heidi, because in reality, there's nothing that you can do about it. So stop preaching about how I should talk. We've already made our decision. Harrison and I will live in that house together whether you like it or not. Besides, who cares if we have to throw out a 40-year-old single woman who lives in rags onto the street? You'll just have to find a way to earn money. You know that if you become more independent, you might actually meet someone that you can get married to. Wouldn't that make life easier for you? That's not something that you can tell me what to do on. You've got no right to say something like that to me. You obviously don't understand my situation. Besides, who's going to take care of my mother if I'm going to be kicked out of my own house? Why would she need to be taken care of? Does she really need that much care? Surely she can do things on her own, right? You do know that it's not just me saying that, so I'll be able to stay in the house. She really needs the care, Brooke. That is absolutely necessary. I've not heard a thing about my younger brother and his soon-to-be rude wife wanting to get married and then move in here. I feel like this is a stab in the back. And now I'm being asked to leave even though my mother is bound to her wheelchair. She needs a lot of help. Okay, calm down, Heidi. I just thought of something good that we can do. Why don't both you and your mother move out so that you can take care of her? Wait, what did you just say? Are you kidding me right now? Are you telling me that my mother should move out as well as me? Yes, that seems like the better option for everybody. It'll be just like killing two birds with one stone. You can still take care of your mother, and we can move in with fewer problems. If my mother-in-law stays with us, we won't benefit from that at all. We'll almost be her slaves if she can't move without a wheelchair. I think the best thing for everyone is for you and your mother to move out and never come back. You can both suffer with each other. Okay, I've had more than enough crap from you, Brooke. Cut it out. This isn't going to happen, not by a long shot. There's no way you can kick Mom out of her home. Hey, I can do what I like. Besides, my father-in-law really likes me and wants to make sure I get everything I need, so he'll do anything for me. Wow, how does it feel to know that your father likes his own daughter-in-law more than his own flesh and blood? Pretty crazy, right? Okay, I'm not letting this happen. I'm going to talk to Harrison about this mess. I'm sure that he wouldn't want his mother on the street. He's not that horrible. So when was I going to find out that both you and Brooke will be living in our parents together? What is going on here?
Huh? What are you on about? Didn't Dad tell you what's going on? Guess he forgot to tell you about what's happening.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you, Harrison. This isn't funny. Brooke is telling me things that I haven't been told. Brooke told me and Mom to leave the house so that you can both move in and live there without any worries. Is that true?
Oh, really? That's what Brooke said. Don't you think it would be better that way, so then everyone gets what they want?
Excuse me? What are you even saying? Is this some kind of insane prank you're pulling? I honestly wouldn't put it past you, Harrison. Do you think that kicking your own sister and mother out of their house is a good idea? Do you really want to do that to us?
Look at you, Heidi. You're over 40 years old, not married, and living at home, basically doing nothing. This is for your own good. You really think it's that painful that something like this is happening to you? You have to stand on your own 2 feet at some point in your life.
What on earth are you talking about, Harrison? I know how to stand on my own 2 feet. How dare you? Who I am has got nothing to do with what you're trying to pull. Whatever happens to me, I don't care, but what you're doing to our mother, are you really going to let that happen? Do you really want to kick her out of the only house she's known for a long time? She's in her 60s and can hardly walk on her own. Why do you want to do this to her?
But Dad has said that it was okay for us to move in, and that room would be made for us. Otherwise, we haven't had many other conversations about it recently.
Oh, okay, so it's our father's fault that he wants us out of the house? You realize that you're all conspiring against Mom and I, right? You know how terrible our father is, right? He doesn't help out, and he hasn't helped our mother since she's been in the wheelchair. You both have always treated me and Mom so coldly, so no wonder Mom ignores everything you all say to her. I really don't feel like talking to my father about this mess.
Well, if you're not going to talk to him, then why don't you do us all a favor and move out? It would make the process so much easier.
Excuse me? How could you say something like that to me? I'm your sister. Do you really want something like this happening to me and to Mom?
Look, even Dad just wants to live a peaceful and relaxing life, okay? He wants to feel comfortable in his own house again. He would rather not live with two women who don't do what he says or listens to. What's the point in living with people who ignore you? He wants to live with Brooke and I because we all get along really well. Don't you think he should have a good life and look forward to seeing his grandchildren running around the house someday?
Are you being serious right now? You think that he'd want loud and screaming babies disturbing his sleep? Do you think you'll be fine living together?
Hey, all I'm saying is wouldn't we all be better off if it happened this way? Why are you getting so angry?
Okay, I've had enough of this crap. I can't deal with you or your partner anymore. I can't believe it took me so long to realize that you and Brooke had the exact same idea. Just give me a chance to let this all sink in, rather than making all of these decisions behind mine and Mom's backs. Can you at least give me some time? Hey, were you able to convince your annoying older sister of how this is the best option to take? It would really be a nuisance if they didn't leave. When we move into that house, we'll inherit whatever is left there when they leave this earth, right? There's no way that I'm not moving into that house.
It's all okay, Brooke. I'm sure that my sister will leave when she thinks about it some more. I just said something that got her straight to that point.
Huh? You actually did? You were able to convince her to leave? Is that right? Will she actually do what we say, or is she going to put up a fight? You know that if they don't leave, I'll throw away all their belongings and kick them out myself. I've got permission to do that, right?
Okay, I don't think you'll have to take it that far, so don't worry about anything like that. In the end, I'll make sure that they move out properly with no issues.
Well, if you still continue to be nice to them, then there's no way that we'll lose the inheritance, right? We'll still be in their good books that way, right?
Yeah, I'm sure everything will work out and it'll be okay. I heard that the house is quite old, but it sits on good land. So my father used to run a company. That's why he was able to buy a decent amount of land. Although he's retired now, he still pops in to help out at work from time to time. So I think we'll all be able to live comfortably even though he's retired, which is great, right? I'm sure there's a lot of money in his account.
There better be some money. I don't want to have to do much work if we're going to be inheriting all of this cash. Is it possible to kick out your mother, too?
My father also told me that he was considering getting a divorce from my mother so he didn't have to put up with her attitude anymore. He said that he'll do his best in divorcing her and kicking her out so that we can move in and take over their house. It'll all be ours in no time. Then we can enjoy our life.
I knew you could do it, Harrison. You're such a clever man. You're definitely a great husband and know how to take good care of me.
Really? You think so? Well, ain't that sweet of you to say, Brooke. Thank you. As long as my father gets a divorce from my mom and cuts her off, we'll have nothing to worry about anymore. I feel a little bit sorry for my mother and sister, but I'm sure they'll manage somehow. All that my sister has to do is get a job and they'll be able to survive. They won't have problems after that.
Exactly. That's right, my love. Well, to be honest, if I were to get kicked out by a family member, I wouldn't want to hear from them ever again, so let's hope we don't have to. Let's just cut them off and be happy together in the house that rightfully belongs to us. Okay, Heidi, I'm here to tell you that we're moving into the house tomorrow. I hope that you've packed up all your belongings. Are you actually ready to leave the house or not? You know that there's no point in trying to stay in the house. We're coming whether you like it or not. Yeah, okay, Brooke, I get what you're saying, all right. Are you seriously trying to kick me out of my own house? I think you're going to regret doing this, so are you okay with that? What on earth are you talking about? There's no way that I'm going to regret doing this. This is what I want to happen. Aren't you embarrassed that this is happening to you? That it had to come to this point for you to move out and be independent? Me? Embarrassed? Why would I be embarrassed about living at home? I'm trying to take care of my mother, for goodness sake. I don't humiliate myself with saying rude comments like you do, Brooke. I don't feel ashamed of myself at all. Hey, I'm only saying this out of the common sense I have gained over the years. Wow, this is so embarrassing having to kick you out. You're really spoiled for a 40-year-old, Heidi. Don't you feel like a parasite walking around in your own parents' house? Don't you feel like you've invaded their space long enough? What's the point being there when you can't find anyone to marry you? Oh well, it doesn't matter anymore. Just leave with your mother, all right? You can't just insult people like this and then kick them out. You're definitely going to regret doing this to us, Brooke. Whatever you say, Heidi. I don't really care. I'm not going to let myself be lectured by an old hag like you who uses nursing her mother as an excuse to not move out. All you do is make excuses, even making up that your mother's in a wheelchair. If you're over 40 and looking after someone, then you can get out of my house. Fine, I'll just live in my mother's cottage then, if you're going to be this way. What on earth are you talking about? Stop making up stupid lies. I know you're just talking crap to buy yourself more time. Ugh, talking to you, Brooke, is a waste of my mental energy. I'll leave with my mother as you wish, and I'll move into her cottage. I can live a better life there than I do now living here. On the contrary, I guess I could thank you for making me move. There's no way that your mom owns a cottage, right? What are you going to gain by saying something as stupid as that? I had a feeling you wouldn't believe me and just make fun of me. Whatever you say to me, I don't care about, Brooke. Okay, what if I were to send you a photo of the cottage that my mother has? Would you believe me then? What the heck are you talking about? What photo is going to make believe what you're saying is true? Well, of my mother's cottage, of course. I intend on moving there tomorrow, so I'll start packing my things. What did you just say? There's no way that your mother would have the money to buy another house or anything like that. It doesn't exist. An old and wrinkly lady can't do anything from her wheelchair. There's no way that I believe you. Well, I guess you'll never actually see it then. It really doesn't matter what you think anymore, Brooke, but if you did, you'd lose all the color from your face. Then maybe you'll end up realizing that what you've done is wrong. What's that supposed to mean? How dare you say such a snide comment? I've not made any mistakes in this. I believe everything Harrison said, so he must be right. I guess so. It's good that you believe in your husband so much. I hope that you live a nice life together. Thanks for taking in my father. Hello, Heidi. How's everything going? Look, I really need to confirm something with you, so would you please just answer your phone? There's nothing to talk about, Brooke. Besides, didn't I cut ties with you? What do you want to say if you wanted to call me so urgently? My father-in-law has an inheritance, right? I just wanted to check with you to make sure that it was true. Excuse me? Are you kidding me? You're asking me if my father has a bunch of money hidden somewhere or something like that? Look, I moved in here to try and get my father-in-law's inheritance in the house so that I could live a nice life. I feel like he's got no money at all. Now I have to count on the money that Harrison gets. What is going on here with your family? Is this a joke, Brooke? Are you actually being dead serious right now? Wow, I can't believe you asked that. Huh? What are you talking about? Of course I'm being serious. Why are you laughing about this? Of course my father has no money, you stupid woman. He's been unemployed for almost 5 years. What? No, that can't be true. I thought that he was a company president and still helped out at the company. Doesn't he have any savings from his time at work? Isn't that why you're able to sit around all day and do whatever you like because you have his money? The only time he was the company president was when he succeeded my grandfather. He crashed the company and it lost a lot of money, so he was fired. Wait, what? He got fired? Oh, surely not. I thought that he was good with his money, though. Brooke, he's got no savings at all. In fact, he spent the little retirement money he got on gambling, so no, he's not good with money. You didn't seriously decide to live together in that house using my father's inheritance as your daily allowance, did you? If that's the case, Brooke, you're a huge idiot. You are so dumb for making that decision. How dare you speak to me like that? Don't you know how rude you're being right now? What you've been saying to me, Brooke, has been way more rude than my little comment I just made. Well, I've already cut ties with my dad, so I don't care about him. You were delusional to think that my father had a lot of money. Then how was he able to pay for anything if he hasn't been working in over 5 years? I assume he hasn't received his pension yet, right? Yeah, you're right, he hasn't gotten it yet. Of course, it was all thanks to my mom that he had money to spend. Wait, what? Your mother? She had money since when? How can an old lady in a wheelchair afford anything? You should really stop with these terrible jokes, all right? Well, she's the one who has all the money. As I said before, it was my grandfather who ran the company. It was her father. She had quite a few assets. But when my father took over the company, he drove it into the ground and almost went bankrupt. My mom inherited her father's things beforehand, so she was fine. Oh my God, what? No way. So your mom was the one who had the money and inheritance this entire time? How did I not know? Probably because my dad lied to you. He always has to try and impress people, but then they get the wrong end of the stick like you did, but that's your own fault. You were so gullible in believing everything my father said to you and Harrison. He's just as dumb as my father, by the way. Luckily, Mom didn't keep her assets as cash, otherwise my father would have taken it for himself. She decided to invest it instead. She ended up making a lot of money by just staying at home and investing in the right places. Just because she's in a wheelchair, it doesn't mean she can't do anything. How is this possible, though? How can she be an investor if she's in a wheelchair? Just because she isn't as mobile as she used to be, it doesn't mean she lost her intelligence. She knew my father better than anyone, and so she knew to keep her money hidden. Also, for taking care of her, she's been paying me a nice salary, so I've also been able to save up quite a bit of money for myself. And you thought that this old hag was doing nothing all day and being spoiled by my parents? Oh, how wrong you were. I didn't mean to say what I did. I'm sure you do a great job looking after your mom. Look, I just really need your help since your father hardly has any money. You're seriously not trying to get to my mom's money after the way you treated us. Are you kidding me? Please, I need your help. I don't want to have a poor life. Please, we're family. You wouldn't do this to your own brother and sister-in-law, would you? You were both the ones that got us into this mess, but what did I tell you? You'd regret saying and doing what you did to me and my mother? Don't even try contacting me again asking for money. How dare you even try to rip us off when all we did was try and be nice to you? I don't want to see either you or Harrison ever again, and my mom feels this way too. Enjoy your life in poverty in that really shabby house. After learning the truth about the inheritance in the house, Harrison and Brooke were left completely devastated. Apparently, Harrison panicked and asked his mother and Heidi to come back to the house. Naturally, they didn't because they weren't treated well at all. Brooke and Harrison are on the verge of collapse due to the increase in their arguments. They couldn't take the plunge in getting a divorce as they couldn't afford to do that. It seems the only thing they could do is live in a state of complete depression. What an ironic result for them. This is the result of trying to degrade others for their own personal gain. It's nothing but a self-inflicted result. The best thing for them to do is to find a part-time job and fast. But it might be an impossible task for people with that kind of personality.